jokingly, but for real, if that makes sense.
Right.
But I fucked around and got around some black girls, and I wanted to interact, and I couldn't even do it. I forgot the lingo
We're
and
live
everything.
right now.
I was fucked up. I was like, I don't really know how this goes no more.
Damn, bro, you been away that long, you forgot how to
I
communicate.
wanted to like do something black so they knew I was down. Like I wanted to just like volunteer to play spades so they knew that I was like, that I was here at one point.
Where were you at?
I was at a friend's house and he had invited some girls over, and I just didn't know how to. I ain't know how to get in there, man. My double dash was so off.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can't break out the Trulies in there. That shit don't work.
How do you approach white women then?
How do I approach them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I usually don't even have to. They just say something goofy as fuck, and I just kind of co-sign what they own. But my voice changed. I think it's like, because I work a 9 to 5, so I just go into that whole, black people know the white voice. If you got a job, you go into your, you know what I mean? So I just go into that.
Give it to me. Give me some.
What my,
that white
you got to
voice.
ask me like a customer, and I could be like a.
Like, hey, dude, how's it going?
You don't got to do all that, though.
Ain't that how they approach you? I don't know.
That man's what, hey, dude. Nah. I don't know. I don't even know how, I hate introducing myself, period, though, so I don't even know how I introduce myself to them. It's just, I'm used to talking to them, and I forgot I used to just know how to approach a black girl, and I can't do it to save my life now.
Yeah, that should have happened to you, though.
Too much. I'm starting to like dumb shit, like the way black girl hair smell now. Like, I fuck around, smell some, what is it, Carol's daughter or some bullshit like that. I be horny as a motherfucker. Don't even know what.
I ain't never heard of that.
Carol's daughter? Ain't that what the hell shit called? Or is it somebody else's daughter?
You are right, but I don't know.
It's hot. We got to turn the air off. Y'all killing me. We have to get better equipment so where we can have AC and conversation. Because this.
We're a long way away from that,
man,
brother.
This is ass backwards though. Are we rolling?
Yeah, man, we've been rolling.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's get it started then. Because I have no opening dialogue or no nothing. I didn't know how this was gonna go tonight. Can you introduce the guests on the screen for myself and everyone else, please?
I'm gonna allow my guests to introduce themselves. I'm pretty sure they could do that better than I can. So go for it.
Hi, my name is the Trap Witch. I'm so honored that Bone asked me to come on. We've done some collaborations before. I'm a spiritual advisor, a feminine liberator, a resurrector of bad bitches, and everything women's empowerment.
See, I couldn't have did all that. I would have introduced you all bad. I would have just been like, this my dog right here. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So that was better than what I was going to do.
I'm glad you did that, too, because I'm mad again. All that you just said, I didn't approve of none of that, except for like the Trap Witch. I like that. That's cool. But what's the other one? A feminine something you said? Liberator?
Feminine liberator.
What that mean?
I resurrect women to their full birthright, their full potential, and I keep them from misogynistic society programming.
Resurrect them? They be dead?
Yeah, bitches be walking around here with no soul. They be soulless. They be killing themselves before they even reach their full potential.
All right, we'll get into that then in a minute.
Me and him are gonna have fun. I can already tell.
Yeah, no, I'm like today.
Absolutely.
No, we cool today. You came in, you look amazing. If I can say that, you look amazing. So I'm not as angry. My friend to my right here, Natasha. Do I have that correct? Natasha. Mm-hmm. Okay, see, I don't know how to pronounce black names no more. I'm lost now. Natasha brought me some wonderful tequila. What did you tell me this was again?
It is an anejo.
This is good. I like this. So I've learned something already tonight. And if you don't know what you're watching, we're live for the first time. This is the Anxiety Issues Podcast. I'm Adam 12 Taylor here with my brother Boneface, a Boneface Inc., who is currently crippled as fuck right now. Would you like to explain to them how you lost mobility?
I damn sure don't have none. Nah, man. I haven't played basketball in a long time, right? Because I messed my shoulder up last time I played. Every time I play, I get injured, bro. Anytime.
Every time you play?
Every time. So I'm in the gym, and I'm like, damn, bro, I ain't did no cardio in a minute. I ain't getting on no treadmill, though. So I go in there, and I run around with the jits for a little bit. First game go good. First shot, air ball. Feel me? So I already knew it wasn't going to be a good day from there. But I ended up having the first decent game. I sat out, and I stretched a little bit. I think I just stretched wrong. You feel me? And when I got back in, man, I went up for a rebound. It was over with. I was in ER for 8 hours after that.
I got you. So we done playing basketball at this point.
I retired, bro. I was looking in the stands like I was Kobe when he snapped his Achilles.
Yeah.
It's over with, man.
I just knew that's the end of it right
there. Bro. I never play again.
All right, that's cool.
It's over with.
All right, listen, I'm gonna get right into it though. I have a question to ask. I'm gonna ask the women first. If y'all can answer this question for me, I want you to give me some good advice. Like, what would you say, right? If I was applying for a job, right, and I went on this job interview, and the interview went great, but they didn't offer me the position, right? Would you encourage me to sit and wait for this job to call me back and figure out what it wants to do with me, or would you tell me to continue to apply for other jobs? I'll start with you, Natasha.
I really appreciate you. I say my name all the time, all day, and people say it wrong to me every time, so I appreciate it. But I work in the corporate world, so I would tell you to apply for other jobs and not wait for that one position to call you back.
Okay. Is there a certain reason why you would encourage me not to wait?
I would not continue to tell yourself no. Let somebody else tell you no. So keep going after it, because you never know what door you're going to walk into and realize, like, dang, I thought I wanted that job, but I'm in this one, and it is a hell of a lot better than what I was going after.
Okay. And Miss Trapwitch, is that correct? Do I refer to you as that? Okay, what would you encourage me to do? What would be your friendly advice to me?
Yeah, I would keep looking. You know, what I've learned is that rejection is sometimes projection. Sometimes the doors we knock on are not the ones we were supposed to walk through. So, you know, we're infinite beings and there's multiple ways to get to our destination. So I would tell you there's infinite possibilities and don't put your eggs in one basket.
Okay. So what did you take from that? You heard two black women just answer this. What did you take from that about options and opportunity? Did you take anything from it? I'm going somewhere with this.
It sounds like pretty much until somebody hires you, keep looking. Basically, if nobody hires you, then you still unemployed. So keep looking.
Okay. So now my question to you would be, why is it a negative that when I ask a woman out for a date and we go on a date, which is a la the interview process, and the date goes well, but you have not decided what you want from me or what position I belong in your life, why, when you find out I am still applying for other jobs or possibly going on other interviews, why am I now looked at as a bad candidate? Why is that now a red flag? Because I continue to interview because you don't know where you want to position me yet.
I'm going to speak for myself.
Okay.
I feel like this whole conversation is just personal to me. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
As long as you are upfront and you communicate that we're talking and I'm still talking to other people in the process, there is nothing wrong with the fact that you're exploring your options while we're still trying to figure out what we're doing.
Okay.
What is right and wrong for me is for me. I'm not a right and wrong person. It's just what's right and wrong for me. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I know other people disagree and they will, you know, as you say, it's a red flag. But for me personally, it's not one. As long as the lines of communication is open and both parties understand that. Now, if you're not communicating that and the woman or the man, vice versa, thinks otherwise and thinks that you're exclusive to me, even though we're still trying to figure it out, then that's a different story. Because in my opinion, you're misleading somebody without being truthful upfront and letting them know, putting all your cards on the table at one time. But again, that's just me personally.
Okay. I like it. What you got?
I'm big on intention, so I agree with her also. I feel like you're allowed to explore your options. You're allowed to keep your possibilities open as long as there's no intention set. If somebody wants to make it exclusive, you'll make it exclusive. I think if you're honest and you're upfront, say, hey, I'm keeping my options open, go ahead and keep your options open, cool. But if you're wanting to date exclusively, because I do think sometimes that giving someone a fair chance to not be distracted by any other options, say, hey, let's give this like 3-4 months of just pure exclusiveness and giving you my full attention. Let's get off these things. Again, it's all about the intentions of the folks. Some people don't want to fuck around and put all their eggs, spread them out. Some people want to give people full focus. So I think again, it's up to people, but you also have to decide how much time you want to give to somebody just getting to know you. And I think a season is usually enough before you decide if you want to be exclusive. So I say 3 to 6 months is enough time to figure out what you want to do.
Okay. Have either of you watched this show before? Just curious.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I love those answers. Very articulate, very beautiful answers. But what I typically try to do on this show is, and I think my brother does too as well, I try to speak for the collective. Like I'm able to process in a different manner than most men may be able to process, right? So I'm not saying that I dumb myself down for the sake of the show, but what I am saying is if I just continually speak for me, then I don't feel like I reach enough people, right? So I think both of you women would agree that even though you both seem to be fairly okay with it, you know most people of your species. If I went on a date with a woman and I interviewed with her, she made no exclusive promises to me, I made no exclusive promises to her, and she saw me on another date, I am immediately discharged, relieved of duty. Do you not think that that is common amongst your, even not you, but do you think that's not common amongst your kind?
What I think is that women get emotionally attached real easily. So a lot of women aren't used to, I think, quality attention. And I've learned that because a lot of women believe that they can't have platonic male friends. So men and women alike are starved of platonic relationships where they're loved on and appreciated. So I think the reason why people put so much emphasis on emotional attachment to the first motherfucker that they start dating is because they're starved of quality interactions. So it's easier, I think, for the moment, somebody gives you attention, your pussy get excited. And I remember my best friend used to tell me, she's like, bitch, calm your pussy down. You just met the motherfucker. Give it, and we get caught up in delusion and we get caught up in potential and we daydreaming. And so I think a lot of women aren't dating logically and they're not dating intentionally. And that's where I think they could take a tip from the masculine, where they could keep their options open and say, this is not the best contender. I remember someone told me one time, I had a dating coach. He said, sometimes women walk into the fish market and they see the big, first, bright, shiny scale motherfucker sitting there and they haven't even looked around the fish market. But
Right.
again, people from scarcity and codependency, so they don't think that they're infinite. And that's why when people break up often, they're like, please don't give me back to the streets, because they don't want to start over. So they put their eggs in one basket and they don't want to start over because they've got their eyes set on one thing. It's hyperfixation and obsessive behavior. A lot of people suffer from love addiction.
Well, just for the record, if a woman walks into the fish market, she is the fish. I'm just throwing that out there in general. But as a man, from your dating experience, would you say, I mean, just honestly, okay, because they're going to speak, I get what they're doing, which is very clever, and I get it. But the amount of women that you've dated, you've experienced over your lifetime, have you ever been approved or met a woman that you thought it was okay to be seen out with another woman? I'm talking about on the initial meet. Not after you discussed everything and y'all have whatever boundary set. If I meet a woman and I ask her out on a date and we go out on a date and she sees you out tomorrow or next week with another woman, what do you think the common response would be?
She's going to feel some type of way.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's going to feel some type of way.
But to what extent?
To the extent that where you are not a candidate.
A lesser candidate.
Like you don't really qualify no more.
Yeah. And you really think that being honest with her will help my situation?
It's a 50-50 shot, but it also could be the
Agreed.
caliber of women that you are typically going after as to why they feel that way. Like if you dealt with a different caliber of female that was more mature in the space of dating and being with another person, right. I feel like you may have a different outcome. But if you're like, I can say for myself, I'm 32 now. Mm-hmm. When I was 21, I might have felt a type of way, but at 32 and being on the course of life and learning and experiencing, then I realized it's not that big of a deal. Even if the conversation wasn't had, I wouldn't care today either, but I do think communication is the number one key as to why it goes wrong. Okay,
well then do it then. You since you're mature and you're a different caliber of woman, be the man. Explain to my girl how I'm going to remain a good candidate and I'm interested in you, but I am also going to go on dates with other people. What do I tell her to be successful and continue this relationship?
Now, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say is going to make you successful, but...
Because it's not.
Maybe. I don't know.
Right. How do you explain to your... I want to learn how to get through. You've had a dating coach up there, Miss Trap Witch. Like, help me get through. Help us get through. The mankind, we don't get it.
So one thing I think, to be fair, is that you can't categorize all women, because I do think that there are some women who are more masculine minded, and again, they'll keep their options open. If I were to say to a woman from your perspective, I said, hey, I'm really getting to enjoy to know you. I would like to explore this. I want you to keep it up front with me. If this is getting too intense for you, you catch a feel, whatever have you. But I want to keep my options open. I want you to keep your options open. You know what I mean? I think it's about mutual respect. I think that there can be a lot of enjoyment and a lot of pleasure with mutual respect. And I think just being intentional does that. Me personally, I took two men to the prom that were best friends. So there was an agreement there that, I'm just going to have fun with y'all. I'm going to
Ma'am,
take y'all.
ma'am.
You know,
Listen,
I don't settle easy.
you got big titty privilege. That's where you're talking from right now. All women can't do that. That's nonsense.
Hey, I threw some D's on this bitch later in life. I always have big titty privilege.
Oh, you did them with small titties? You fucked them both then. That's the only way you got. That's the only way you went to prom. that's. But you said you feel like that women are missing platonic relationships with men, that they can have those
Yes, I mean,
from their uncles or cousin.
no, I mean, again, I think that it's real ignorant for people to say that you can't have platonic relationships with men or women. Again, a grown ass person who knows how to control their pussy, to control their dick, they can have relationships that are platonic with very attractive people. Again, we have to understand that people come in our life for different reasons, and not every attractive motherfucker that gets your pussy jumping when you look at them is supposed to be your man. And that's something that I had to learn too. But again, a lot of people will say just because they have a chemical attraction to somebody that they have to act on it. So I think that's where we miss out on people actually being of substance and being of supplement to something else in our life besides being romantic.
But you don't even think that's triggering as a man. Let's say you have a boyfriend, and I know you want to explain it to him like this, like you just explained it to me.
Yeah.
But you want me to be okay with you being friends with a dude who get the pussy jumping, as you say, but even though you're not fucking them, like that's.
Listen, someone I was interested in. We decided that we was gonna be friends. We weren't gonna explore it. And I told my man, I was like, yo, listen, this is my bro. I used to like him. We did not explore nothing. And they became bros. It was a bromance. You see, again, I'm a very masculine woman. So I'm going to be intentional about it and I'm going to be logical about it.
Brother, help me. At any time, I know you're on one leg right now.
She has a valid point, though.
She does not have a valid point.
Okay.
Just because you got away with some shit don't mean it's valid.
No, it's not getting away. Like, in the grand scheme of things, as being a human, to expect another person to fulfill all of everything that your mind, heart, spirit desires is naive.
Now, that is very true.
And then to expect somebody to not have platonic friends of the opposite sex is also naive. Like, especially if these platonic friends happened before you guys were ever together, to negate a history that you've had with somebody or other people, whether they were male or female, in my opinion, is stupid.
We negate history all the time. Every time I get a girlfriend, I delete my whole web browser.
Are you serious? Wait.
You don't need to see nothing I was Googling before I met you.
Okay, not Googling, but okay, so let's say your contact list. All your old friends that are of the opposite sex, you just delete them all?
No, I don't delete them, but we don't have no contact. Okay, what is it for me? If I have a woman, right now, I agree with you saying two separate things. It is naive to think that one person can satisfy all of your natural human needs, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. But whatever I need outside of my woman, I can find in a male friend or a same-sex partner in some form of relationship.
That's not always true.
Well, beg your pardon?
That's why so many men have these like homoerotic relationships with their bros.
No, so don't make me, because I'm doing the right thing. Don't make me a homosexual now, because I got.
I said homoerotic again, right?
It's the same thing.
No,
you think that's how me and my friend describe each other? No, I mean, listen. All I'm saying is, if I have a woman, what can this other female, like? It does not have to be a female. And here, we've said this on the show a million times. Can a male and female be friends? There's only two ways they can be friends. If one is gay or they are extremely unattracted to each other. And that's the only reason you guys are friends is because one of you won't fuck the other one. That's still not a friendship to me. Me and my friend will never fuck each other no matter what. We're not attracted or nothing.
That says that you haven't mastered your chemical attractions.
That doesn't
because
mean
you can go out into the world, you can see 100 women and they all bad as fuck and they all make your dick hard, but you don't have to act on it. Again,
but no, I don't have to act on it. But I think y'all underestimate human interactions. The best relationship is built on a what? The truth. but a friendship. Are you not friends with your man?
Absolutely.
Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm
Okay.
currently.
Okay, but in some of your relationships, or most of them, I would assume, your man was also your friend, right?
Yeah, my man's always got to be my dog.
Cool, and that is the biggest foundation. So a relationship, while I may not be acting on my, you say my dick getting hard, while I might not be acting on that, this person is already covered the basis of a foundation of a relationship. This is my friend. I communicate with this person. I have intimate conversation with this person. I'm there for this person when they need me. They're there for me when I need them, correct?
Yes.
All it takes is one small change in a life situation for this to now be more than what it is. That's all it takes. We might be friends for 10, 12 years until we not friends. When I have a problem with my woman, when me and my wife have a problem or my girlfriend have a problem, I'm gonna run to my dog, my female friend. Give me some advice. Let me know something. So at one point in life, I realized nobody knows me better than my friend.
I also think that people limit their intentional connections outside of the relationship, which is why when the relationships, if they unfortunately end, they lose their fucking mind. You know, one of the best pieces of advice I got last year is to categorize your friends or your people into emotional support, resources, or people you just communicate with.
Right.
And I would say in my last relationship, one of the most fulfilling things was, although he was my dog, he was my partner, whatever, I was so happy to be at a point in my life where I had so many intimate connections, whether they were business, whether they're friends, and they were both sexes. So again, I still think it's unfair to put that much amount of pressure on one person, because we also have to factor in, we are individual spirits on a journey. I got a purpose, I got community, I got to take care, I got multiple things I need to handle. So I don't want to everything either. So that's the thing. I think it's unfair to say, because you my biggest dog, that you got to be so much of everything that I can't have other connections.
Right, but you have to monitor your connections. I'm the type of person, if I get with you, I'm not expecting you to eliminate your whole history. If you met Buddy before me, that's cool. But the way y'all operated before me is not going to continue to operate. I'm never going to be sitting somewhere in the house and my woman going to be out eating lunch with her male friend. What the fuck is that?
Really?
Never in my fucking life. That's fucking insane. Why are you, if you hungry, can you not eat with your female friend? Is she not hungry? Did you hit her up to see if she was hungry first? This the only nigga you can eat?
I'm sorry, it's just funny.
It ain't about not trusting my woman. I understand life. It ain't about trust. It's like this. I understand myself as a
little jaded by life.
No, this is what kills me about humans. Everybody swear they don't know no better, right? Then they get in these situations, and like we continue to hear the same stories over and over again. Affairs, cheating, this happened. We watch movies about it, and people act like they have no idea how they walk into these things, right? Everybody's even been in a situation with, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have been in situations with a girl or a man, and that man was like, I would never do this, I would never do that, and then they did the exact thing they said they would never do, right? So cool, I understand myself as a man. I also haven't cheated in my last 3 relationships, and that's been over 13 years, right? Cool, and it's not because I'm different than the next man. I just understand what situations not to put myself in. If I know it's 10 porn stars in the room and they all fucking, why would I go in there and be like, baby, trust me, I'm good.
But is it because
I'm gonna hold
you
it
don't
down.
trust yourself? Is it because you don't trust yourself?
No, because I'm a human being, and if they get the fucking too good in here, I'm fucking too. Like, what do we, like, I just don't, why do I have to go in there?
So it sounds like you don't trust yourself, though, because if you did, then you could walk into that room and look and be like, dang, I wish I could partake, but I myself am not going to because of my situation.
So okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Still what we call in spirituality, it's still an imbalanced root chakra, because if you so secure in yourself, you could walk into listen, I was a sex worker, okay? I was a sex worker for 5 years, and 4 years I was married, and my husband knew what I did. I could see dicks every day, and I didn't have to fuck none of them.
Hold on, you said you was a sex worker and your husband knew what you did?
Pardon?
You said you was a sex worker and your husband knew what you did?
Yeah, he knew what I did.
What kind of sex work? You had, like, it's different, like, departments in that store?
So I had happy endings.
Oh, so you jerking people off?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, all right. I just wanted to know.
I'm just saying. Now, I can't agree with you that sometimes you'll say, never, ever will I, whatever you get in a situation. Absolutely. But I will say that when your root is secure and you're confident in yourself that you're not going to do something, you're not going to do something.
So why are you and that gentleman not together today? And do you not think that jerking dicks off ain't had nothing to do with that?
It didn't have anything to do with that.
I would love to ask him. There was no way that he was just somewhere walking downtown, walking the dog, knowing you was jacking the dick, and he was cool. I'm not saying he wasn't.
He was actually more insecure with my relationships outside of that job.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you do at work, yeah. I mean, if that's what you do at work, yeah, what are you doing in your personal life? You want to do that at work and have a male friend? My girl asking too much.
We're to ask the question of why we aren't together is because my life, the life that I live now, is the trap witch. He would have never supported my destiny and my purpose as a loud, opinionated, flamboyant, weird ass bitch that's out here in the world liberating women. He likes the idea of it as his friend, but as his wife, he did not like that shit.
Yes, everything. Yes, ma'am. That's so correct. Like that is did you hear what she said? That is absolutely correct. I love that idea. I totally respect you from this position I'm sitting in, right? I love having this conversation with you. I love the fact you're opinionated and confident, and it is dope to have a mental debate with you. But if you were my woman, that shit don't sound so cute.
But
that's
why?
not because it's okay. You about to, huh?
His type of bitch.
No, it's not that. No, this is what kills me about y'all. Y'all swear to God that y'all want men to value you, and then when we do, it's like, well, how dare you value me that much? Like, if you want to be put on tell me what position of honor does not come with a different level of decorum. What does a queen, a judge, anybody of any value or prestige comes with a certain level of you act different than everyone else. So if you're my woman, I have different level of expectations for you than these other bitches. They could be doing anything under the sun, but I love you. Love, die for, protect, right? Of course I have different standards for you than your buddy, because he don't give a fuck. Does that make sense? Excuse me for valuing you too much. It's not control. There's just a certain expectation.
I think there's a fine line.
Yes, and it is.
It's a very fine line because... And I feel like oftentimes in these conversations, the line gets teetered to the side of control instead of if you genuinely loved your person, you will let them be who they are no matter what. If you genuinely love them to the core that they are as your friend first, and then relationship, whatever it is afterwards, you have to let them be them.
I don't gotta let you do nothing. People love to say, love me for who I am. Then ain't nobody gonna love you.
That is not a true statement.
It is. It's a very true statement. Nobody's going to love... And you have to conform to become a unit. How much and how little depends on how much or how... Excuse me?
You have to collaborate and compromise. And compromise, both people are still winning.
But sure, and that's a fancy way of saying you're going to have to conform. That's what a compromise is. How much or how little depends on who you date. That's why it's a fine line between control and compromise.
You don't have to compromise... I'm going to say your core person. Like, you can compromise things that you didn't really care about to begin with. Like, sure, I'll let that go because I didn't care one way or the other.
Right.
But the core of who a person is, you don't have to compromise that. And the other person can still love you and let you be who you are at your core.
Sure.
Listen, your word conform, right? So your word conform means rules, standards, or laws. So in every relationship, the rules, the standards, and the laws are going to be different. So for you, the rules, standards, and laws of which I live my life according to God, my destiny, my birthright might not fly, but it's going to fly for another motherfucker who can agree with those rules, standards, and laws. And again, there's so many times to understand where certain people's human law is not sacred law of spirit. So for you, your human law of how you operate in your relationships is not how another man's going to deal with necessarily her or me. So again, that's a personal agreement that you come to the table with your partner.
But that's why y'all end up with the wrong nigga 9 times out of 10, because you think whoever agrees with you more is the better man for you. Like, oh, this is who's meant for me. Jack and Dix is not part of your core. It's not. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, or dressing a certain way is not a part of your core. I do understand core principles, and I'm not asking you to do a complete 180, like, or to, if you're an outspoken person, to be docile because your man says so. That's control. But there are certain things that y'all fight for that are not a part of your core. That's society. You want to be this shit because of the times you live in. If you were born in the 50s, you wouldn't want to be this. Or the 1800s, you would want to do some other shit.
I can tell you this is my core. So everything I say is my core, and that's enough time I've spent in my singleness and my wholeness to recognize that in every relationship where I've sacrificed that, God don't move that motherfucker out. And I'd rather be back in the streets and start over all over again to be with somebody, because that's what causes resentment. See, that's what causes resentment in relationships, and that's why people cheat. That's why people step out, and that's why people are miserable. And if we're talking about 1800s, 1700s, let's not pretend like motherfuckers, fathers and the forefathers of our nuts or whatever have you, wasn't out here oppressing women back then too.
Of course, absolutely.
About they fucking their daughters to keep a bloodline back there, so we can't really
Absolutely.
talk about back then because they was even more oppressed. What as women now we fighting for now is our fucking liberation. And again, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of motherfucking men owe us reparations. You want to
And the
talk
men
about
don't owe y'all shit. Y'all not what are y'all liberated from? What are y'all fighting against, bro? Like come on. To the slut walk, what are you fighting for? You got every right the next motherfucker got. What are you fighting for? Nothing. The right to do OnlyFans and not be judged, the right to fuck who you want to and then want the nigga who you love to not give a fuck how many people you fuck before him. That's not liberation. You just want somebody to validate who your past and be okay with it. And that's not how that shit works. We don't do that shit in any...
Would you want that?
But my past does matter. What do you mean? Everybody's past matter. I just got a job. They ran a background check. It applies to me too.
But again, that's because, and no disrespect, I say disrespect because you work in a corporate job, right?
Okay, cool. But anything you do, if you want to get a porn job, they're gonna see how many porns you did before.
Porn too. So for someone like me, I've worked for myself for the past 10 years. I don't have to conform to those laws.
Cool, and so you by yourself.
I make my own rules. So again, different strokes for different folks because people are walking different paths.
Baby, everything you do in life, you got a cell phone? Did they not do a credit check? Did you have a car? Do you have an apartment? Did they not run a background check on your apartment? Or you just out here you out here building your own houses too? Everybody do a background check, honey. You can't avoid it. Your past does matter. Y'all ain't fighting for liberation. You fighting for overcorrection. Yes, you were oppressed for a long time.
I have no shame about my past. That's the thing.
You shouldn't.
Oh, when you go back to human law, you can't shame a motherfucker. Whether someone sold dope, whether someone was a sex, whatever.
Me. Yeah.
The only time someone can hold your past against you, you have some fucking shame.
But
really,
who said be ashamed?
You're conforming to a system.
I never said be ashamed of your past though. Who said that?
From a society standpoint, women are often shamed for their past, not in a way that men aren't. And I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Trap Witch, is that it's fighting for the same amount of respect that often men get for whatever the situation may be. If you flip it on the other end and it be a female, it's totally wrong. She's just everything that you can think of underneath the sun, and getting to a point where that double standard doesn't exist, because double standards are still very prevalent to today. I cannot stand double standards. They make my blood boil. But I think that's where maybe she's leading to is getting to the point where double standards don't exist, to where we could come to the table and have the same conversation and the rules, quote unquote, apply to both sides and not just one or the other.
Well, double standards don't exist. It's a term made up for people doing the shit they want to do. We're different creatures. We are not the same. A car and a truck, they're used for two different purposes. Like men and women, we use for two different purposes. There are also things, I used to always use this analogy, right? I got two good ones. If you are in a room full of nothing but women, it is a woman's conference, right? There's not a man in sight, right? The person who opened the door is a woman, the person speaking is a woman, and you all are women, right? And you walk in there and somebody say, oh, you Natasha, girl, you fucked about 100 people in high school. All them women looking at you like, who the hell in the back? Right? That's wild as fuck. Ain't no men in sight, right? Now, if I go in a room full of men for a male conference and they like, oh, what's up, Adam? We ain't seen you since high school. Boy, you fucked all the hoes in high school. I'm like, hey, that ain't me no more, but appreciate you. You feel me? So where's the double standard if there's all male and all women? You guys have different standards for your body because they're different than ours. They are not the same.
I think you need to be in a room with a conversation of women that are having that, because that is not what's being said about the girl that walked in the room that's had slept with 100
so
men.
A girl coming in and say I fucked in a room full of women, right? And say I fucked 100 men. Y'all sister power?
Girl, go ahead, because I wish I could. But I think that's your assumption of how that room looks.
I've heard women call. As soon as y'all catch a woman sleeping with your man, what you call them?
But that's different.
No, how is it different?
If you sleep with someone who's
you're adding something.
If it's a double standard, then why do you find occasions where you refer to a woman as a hoe?
I mean,
I'm gonna call myself whether I'm sleeping around with people or not.
You say what now?
I'm gonna call myself a hoe whether I sleep with people or not.
But that's what you do. It's your core, right?
Yeah,
I'm just fucking with you. But in general, you guys have situations where you call each other that when you're mad at each other. Right. I'm not gonna catch him fucking my girl and be like, boy, you a hoe, boy.
I'm trying to change my mind to like the general of women and not just myself. So that's what I'm trying to work on through this conversation. Because for myself, I don't call people that.
But what I'm saying is we're different creatures, and I tell you this because of value. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There are different values. If I meet a woman, if I got a job, and I meet this rich woman, and she tells me to quit my job, and they find out, my whole family finds out I'm quitting my job to live under this rich woman. Everybody is going to think I'm a sorry-ass man. There's going to be something also in my core that tells me I'm a sorry-ass man. But if you meet a rich man and he say, baby, quit your job, and you go tell all your coworkers this your last day on the job, everybody's happy for you.
In the societal context, that is a double standard.
But it's not, because I'm not supposed to be taken care of.
But why not?
I was built to work. I was made to go get it. It's not that I can't marry a rich woman, but I'm not meant to sit on my ass at home. And your core will tell you that.
So your core tells you that?
Yes, and yours does too.
Because there's a guy out there that his core will not tell him that. And it will be just fine.
And he's a sorry-ass man, right?
To you.
To everyone.
No, to you.
To everyone but people like him. If you were a rich woman right now, and you came home to your husband, and every day he was on that couch, it would rub your soul wrong. Even though you don't need a dime of money. If every day you walk through the door from acting or whatever you do that makes you so successful, and he was just sitting there on that couch, it would rub your soul the wrong way.
I'm going to say it would rub my soul the wrong way if nothing was being done in the house. But if he was at home doing what I would be doing at home, who the fuck cares?
But you can have a maid. I could be rich and come home, my wife be sitting in that same spot with that same bottle of wine, and the maid made the house up and all that shit, and I don't say nothing.
What am I caring for? If I am rich and I have a maid, and I told my husband he could not work, and we have a maid, and he's just sitting on the couch, he's doing what the fuck he's supposed to do because you hired a maid to do the in-between part. What do I care for?
Man, because your soul, your core, it's going to eat you alive. Is that okay with you, Trap Witch? You come home every day from being the Trap Witch and getting your grind on and making all this money, and your man just sitting on the couch every day.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for that type of man anyway.
Of course. So there's no, all my points are, there's no such, we're different creatures. We're not made the same. There are certain provisions allowed to women that are not allowed to men. There are certain exceptions allowed to women that are not allowed to men. There are certain kindnesses, forgivenesses, understandings for women that are not given to men, right? There are certain societal standards where people will run to the aid of women. There's softness towards women that they won't run to for a man. They'll tell you to pick up your bootstraps and go get it on your own. It's like, we're just different creatures. We're not meant to have the same level of respect, like the same level, sure, but not on the same things.
I think it depends on your community where what you're saying may or may not apply. Because if you're a community, if that's that belief, then of course that makes sense. That's what you grew up around. That's what everybody's been telling you. But there are others in different communities where that's not the conversation, where it's a more equal and level playing field where respect is all the way around. I mean, I can say personally for myself, but my community is small compared to probably most people in this room. So,
you mean like your own personal family?
Yeah, and I mean, and the people that I associate with, my community. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I do understand that applies to you, but I think it's important to understand that doesn't apply to everybody. It may not even apply to everybody in this room, but it doesn't make it wrong.
No, but I know it's right. It's fine. I'm narcissistic in that way, but I understand people can choose to live how they want to live. It just doesn't change life. I have a question for you, Trap Witch. Did you see the BET Awards at all, or see any? You didn't watch it?
No, but maybe I know what you're talking about.
Okay, the clip where they had, I didn't watch it either, by the way, but I did see the commotion between, is it Uzi and JT? Is that who's dating?
Yeah.
And she threw the phone at him for sitting by Ice Spice? Did you see that?
Supposedly.
Supposedly, right. How do you feel about her reaction toward, and understand I'm always leading somewhere, so I don't want to set you up, but how do you feel about her reaction towards Uzi sitting by Ice Spice and being disrespectful to her and that whole nine?
I think she could have handled that better. I mean, we can't be emotionally reactive like that in public. You know, that's a conversation. Maybe should have pulled him out of the room. They could have, taken a moment. But, embarrassing him like that, and it goes both ways. Whether it was Keke Palmer's baby daddy embarrassing her, we shouldn't be embarrassing each other like that in public.
Same for you?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the true case, that she was annoyed that they were sitting next to each other, she could have handled it better, in my opinion.
But did she have a gripe? Like, even though she could have handled it better, do you feel like just as a woman she has a gripe? Like,
No.
No?
Who cares? You're at the BET Awards and there's nothing but celebrities in here. You don't get to choose where you sit. So if he's sitting next to her,
I think they were sitting by each other at one time, and I think when he got off the stage, he went and sat by the other woman. So I think he had a choice, from what I understand. Does that make it any different that he chose to sit by another woman and his girlfriend is clearly in the row?
not to me. Who cares
I'm
where you're
not
sitting?
socially aware as we would hope. You know what I'm saying? Again, if she felt like he was lacking social awareness and she was uncomfortable, that's something she should have addressed if that was her man.
Hey, listen, man, I hope my next girlfriend is like y'all, so when I do shit like that, I can say I'm not socially aware and just... Like, I want to use those terms, and it just goes smooth. And she'd be like, oh, damn, babe, that's what it was?
I think if you use it in the right context, it might take you somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to try it, though.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I get punched in the face, I'm going to text both of y'all and say that shit ain't working. But the reason why I asked it is because, obviously, the Keke Palmer and her boyfriend situation with Usher, right? Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to see if you thought there was some validity to JT, but then didn't think Keke Palmer's husband had any validity.
Her baby daddy, because that's not her husband.
Her baby daddy. Well, that's not her husband either. But yeah, right. I apologize. Do you feel like her man was okay for saying what he said to Keke Palmer?
I don't think I would have tweeted it or did whatever he did publicly. But I would have had a conversation at the crib for sure. But publicly, I don't know about that. That was a bit extra.
What was mishandled? Even though you wouldn't have tweeted that, what do you feel like? If that was your woman, what do you feel like was mishandled in that situation? As your woman, like hypothetically, your woman did said thing. How do you explain to her what was mishandled or in what way you were disrespected?
For me personally, bro, I just feel like the way I'm trying to figure out a way to word it. I just don't like the way. Damn, bro.
Be like me.
Yeah,
be like me. Just say it though. Don't try to say it nicely.
You said say it nice,
right?
No, I feel like, bro, you can't embarrass a man like that. You have to have some type of, you have to handle yourself a certain way in public. And I think people love to play the it's Usher, or it's the celebrity card. But I feel like a man is a man. Usher is no different than any other man. And yeah, I just feel like she embarrassed him a little bit.
Is that control, Trapwitch?
I feel like there's so many nuances to the conversation. I do think
but his opinion specifically is, would you feel like if that was your man's feelings, is that controlling what he's saying? That you embarrassed me, that you should act a certain way?
I would have to still respect and hold space and validate his feelings and being like, okay, if this is how this impacted you, I need to take it into consideration, right? But again, having rules and standards. See, I come from a Caribbean culture where we can go to carnival, we could twerk on people, we could bust it down that are not our partners, and we have a good time when we go home. So, I don't know how it is culturally here, but when I saw it, I mean, like I said, I see nuances. I see that they're both entertainers, they're both performers. There's an element of showmanship and showing out that was occurring. I could tell she was putting on a little bit. It's Usher, like we said. It's every girl's probably childhood crush, and she was in her joy and feeling herself. And I think that was the hard part, is that a lot of women have been seeing that Keke's been feeling herself since she had this child. And when women are postpartum, people aren't necessarily snapping back, bouncing back. And she was truly in her joy, and he just came in kind of like a joy killer, and not only did not wait till she got home or text her, but decides to publicly embarrass a forward-facing woman who very much had a destiny, a purpose, and an identity before him. We don't know who the fuck he is. He Kiki baby daddy. So, also too with him dealing with her, who's very forward-facing and a very important person in media. You can't just be fucking around with anybody who doesn't have emotional regulation, who's gonna have fucking Twitter fingers.
Man, you said a lot. Do we need a break or you good? Okay. I'll just let you respond. You said a lot that I want to respond to, but I'll give it to you first.
I first think that he was out of pocket for posting that on Twitter and not having the conversation privately. I think there's a difference between having a preference of what you want your person to be versus a boundary. Like, this is a hard line in the sand. I didn't see anything wrong with what she did. In my opinion, even though she is a celebrity, seeing Usher in a residency in Vegas is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. So flip it on the other side, and it was a man, and let's say it was Trina. That is a once-in-a-lifetime situation, that person.
We gotta make her find it in Trina. But
let's just say this is a situation where it's not Usher, and his woman is reacting like this to a guy. Is that okay?
Is it still a performance?
No, it's just at Walmart. She sees somebody, he handsome, and she act like that.
No, but the situation isn't the same.
So what you're saying is loyalty and a certain decorum is basically it's situational.
Correct.
How?
Because one is an everyday thing for me that you do every day. Am I going to be dressed like that at Walmart every day? Absolutely not.
No, you can be in the Snuggie. It don't matter what you're wearing.
Am I going to go up to a random person, or this random person come up to me and I'm going to let them touch them or let them touch me and I don't know them? Absolutely not. But for me, in that situation, it's Usher, it's a residency. He comes to sing to me. And as she mentioned, they are both performers. So she gave it a little extra, but I don't think that she was out of pocket, one, for what she wore or for the way that she reacted. Because personally for me, I have a cousin that went to an Usher concert years ago. And what Kiki did was PG-13 to what my cousin did on stage with Usher. Like,
was she in a relationship?
At the time, yes. And there was no problem. But we all understood that she, like...
But did her man see it?
Yeah, it was...
So her man was there?
He wasn't there, but he saw it. It was all over the internet.
And it was just like, all right, baby, it's all good.
Yeah, but we all understood that she loves Usher like that. So if she had the opportunity, we knew, it was understood that it was about to go down. She was going to go take it left field because it was Usher. We knew how much she liked him. And he chose her and she went on stage.
Okay, so you married now, right? Mm-hmm. Beyonce in Pensacola at the Civic Center, right?
I am going to root the hell out of that man.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hubby got down, fuck around, slip backstage, you feel me? And Beyonce give him some pussy. You all right with that?
I don't care.
You gonna let it ride?
I am gonna dap that shit up, bruh. You got to bang Beyonce. My relationship is different,
That's
though.
why you can't have these conversations, brother, because they're unrealistic.
They're not, but they're unrealistic to you. But that is my relationship.
Let me tell you how
I wish I could show you.
Let me tell you how the woman brain works. Now, I'm not actually telling you how the woman's brain works, but how it works towards your man, right? If your man fuck Beyonce, the next time he fucks you, you'll have so many questions. You wouldn't believe, like, hey, brother, are you thinking about? You have so many questions.
That's because we're human and we're gonna have questions.
Of course.
But is it going to stop me from moving forward? That you could say at the end of life when, it's your last 30 seconds on earth and we talking, you know what, bruh? I got to hit Beyonce and I'm gonna look at you like, damn, my nigga, you really did. Like that's some shit.
Okay, let's knock it down a little bit. You feel me? It's just motherfucking bands on the beach. This is a local motherfucking performer, and your husband slipped backstage, and she give him some pussy.
I'm gonna have some questions.
No, but he feels the same way he feel about Beyonce about this lady.
He could feel that way.
So, but what's the difference though?
Because you feel a way about Beyonce.
Right.
It's the caliber of person. So if I don't know who you were sleeping with on the beach and we didn't have a conversation before, I'm gonna have some questions today.
But again, too, what are the rules of the relationship? Is this an open situation? Because that's another question.
No, it's not.
No, it's not an open.
So then that's a violation then.
But what I'm saying is, what it sounds like is that like loyalty is conditional, like the level of something. Like, so my thing is like, If I got caught, like if I got an old lady, right, and I get caught cheating, and every time I get caught cheating, I get caught with somebody 10 times better than my old lady. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Should she dap me up? Well, or should she
gonna be mad? But I always tell men, if you cheat with a finer girl, your girl ain't gonna leave you, because that ain't no punishment.
Right.
I can't leave you.
But they ain't gonna be okay with it either, though.
No, hell no.
They ain't gonna cheer you like it was Beyonce. But what if that's Beyonce to me?
That's Beyonce to you.
What if it's Beyonce to me?
That's the conversation for your relationship.
But see, this one I don't like though. I feel like when you deal with women, there is no room for anyone else's feelings but your own. Even my cheat is conditional if you approve of it.
Facts.
Even my mistake is okay if you like her as much as I do. Like
why do you think a lot of men can't handle then if we're in an open relationship and I say I want to smash a dude or I want to bring a dude into the situation? I mean, I made a post recently. I said there's a lot more women that want to have 3 ways with 2 men than just another woman, but they men don't approve of it.
Because what do if there's a threesome with a girl, right? Typically the girl will do something with the other girl, even if it's as much as rub a nipple. I'm not rubbing that nigga titty for you. Like, what am I supposed to do while you get no?
The pleasure of 2 men.
No, I understand what you want. So again, it's all about you. So even in a
the other way, you say, okay, you want 2 bitches sometimes,
right,
but I want this.
Yeah, but you're not listening to me. See that, and that's what I'm saying. This is what it's like. If there's a threesome have you ever had a threesome with a woman?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Come on.
Oh, my goodness, out here.
Got a W2. Come on, man. She got a W2 for jacking niggas off. I know. You had a threesome. So in this threesome, potential threesome, did you and this woman do anything to one another? Like did you hold hands for a second? Did you grab her toe at any point in time?
Usually that's what women do, yeah.
Sure. So now let's flip it to the 2 dude threesome. What the fuck am I supposed to be doing to that nigga while you getting fucked?
Have you watched porn?
Yes. Do you want me to get in the porn positions and thigh to thigh with that nigga? This is real life. It's not sex work. Is that what you want me to do? I've also seen a threesome where both of them niggas' balls was on top of each other.
And
is that what you want me to do?
No, can't.
Is that what you want me to do?
If she asked, would you say no?
Yeah, what? No, I'm not putting my balls on his balls. Yes, I'm saying no.
So could you say the opposite of not caring about her feelings in a situation, that you would allow one but not the other?
That's you again not caring about my feelings.
But are you not caring about her feelings?
Again, if caring about your feelings mean I have to disregard my own, again, it's all about you. In the threesome, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't want to touch her, then don't touch her. So and then we won't have the threesome.
You don't touch him, don't touch him.
I won't touch him. Then he's just fucking you and it's not a threesome. So you just want another nigga to fuck you. It's not a threesome.
But why is that okay the other way then?
It's okay because you agreed to it. If you like another woman touching your titties, you liked the feel of another woman on your. If I get in the car and my friend elbow touch mine, it's weird, and that's just driving.
I love him.
No, I'm serious though. So it's not the same. Y'all be trying to make everything apples to apples, and it's not. So a threesome between 2 men, there's nothing for me to do with him while he's fucking you. So I'm just watching you.
I guess in a threesome, you could correct me if I'm wrong, that you don't have to be doing something to him. It's just the 3 people participating in an activity together.
No, that's not a threesome. That's a train.
Yeah, because
if I'm just watching, that is a train. I'm waiting for my turn. A threesome is all of us on.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like everybody is actively participating in different sections of the person.
Yeah, that's a threesome.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what are we disagreeing on? So now when there are 2 men, you want how do you want me to interact with him?
I don't know how much you're allowed to say on here.
No, you can say anything you want to.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like, you could be in the back and the guy could be in the front. That is still a threesome because we were all having sex in some form together.
That's a train.
That's a train.
Okay.
Yeah, because we both just having sex with you. We're not all having sex. We're both just double teaming you.
And then at some point,
you could correct. Can you educate us, please?
No, listen. I'll educate you because I've had my set of trains before. Like when I was young, we ran a lot of trains on girls. That's what we did. And every now and then, a nigga would take it too far. I'll give you one example, right? So that position is perfectly fine.
prioritizing your pleasure? Because again, if a woman initiated and wants it, why can't it be named a threesome? Why does it have to be a train?
Because that's what it is. It's like, why is it a burger and a pizza? You could call that burger a pizza if you want to, but it's a fucking burger. It's not the same thing. Who cares about the name? What I'm saying is the interaction is different. Is that if you want to call it a threesome to make you feel better, fine. But that's what women always want. They just want you to say something to make them feel better. It's not the same.
I mean, no,
No, not you in general. I'm just saying overall.
I get what you're saying. That was my understanding of a threesome. That not as long as everybody's participating, then it's a threesome. Not that it's necessarily a train.
It's a threesome when all three people are interacting with each other. In a threesome with two men and a woman, usually the men do no interacting with each other. It's just you getting manhandled and tossed around. So it's really just us running a train.
Yeah.
A threesome is everybody's doing something to somebody.
I guess
all three people are interested in each other. Okay. Yeah, so it's a train.
Yeah, I like that. See, thank you for saying it better. Yeah. All three people have to be intimately in some way interested in one another.
Yeah, otherwise you're getting flipped and you're just trying to make it feel better or sound better. But
listen, that position you said is perfectly fine, right? We was running a train on a girl at one time, right? And I guess you switched positions, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm a missionary person, so I decided to get in missionary and fuck the girl in missionary, right? Mm-hmm. So my homeboy, I guess he didn't want to take a time out and not get his meat sucked right now. So he wanted to lay across her face. But here's the thing about that. If I'm missionary and you laying across your face, then what's in my face? Do I gotta draw it? If I'm missionary and I'm laying down and you getting your dick sucked, what is in my face? Is that a threesome again?
It's a nightmare.
That's not a threesome.
That's a threesome. It's a bad
So I just stopped and I let him finish all his activity before. That's why I'm saying it's not a threesome. Does that make sense? But if this was a girl, just two women, we would have been fine.
Right, just fine.
Okay.
Make better sense?
I understand your position.
That shit was wild to both of them right then.
Yeah, that nigga was wild in general, though. That was the last train he ever participated
Christ,
in.
bro. You gotta be a thirsty nigga to flop down on somebody in missionary, bro. What are you doing, bro? Get back. Why?
I tried to keep it going. I tried to muscle through it, though. But some things you just can't.
Oh, man.
It's not in my core trap, which some things you just can't do.
That boy probably butt naked in the train.
Oh, he was ass naked.
Man, why are you naked, bro?
No. What was I saying before we came? How did we get on threesomes? I lost my train.
I don't know how we got from Keke Palmer to here.
Oh, yeah, cool. Keke. So I do feel that he was wrong for tweeting. That should have been kept in-house, right? What's the model girl name? The two-tone bitch. The model
Winnie.
Winnie? Mm-hmm. What's her
She
name?
said
Harlow.
Winnie Harlow.
Winnie Harlow?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Kyle Kuzma is her boyfriend, the basketball player. When Usher tried to sing on her, she jumped in her man's lap.
After the way the internet was tearing everybody down, I might have had a different reaction immediately after knowing that I'm a public figure.
Yeah, why wouldn't she? But she could have been womanly liberated to just stand up for Keke and do the same.
She could have, but she chose differently, and that's perfectly okay.
She chose her man.
Did she choose her man, or did she choose her image and reputation on social media?
Why I can't just be her man? It's never good that she chose her. She said to her man's lap, not to her reputation's lap. Why I just can't be? So why is honoring your man just such a huge? I just don't understand.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but I think the context of the climate matters as to the way that she may have reacted, and that should be taken into consideration. Because yes, she is dating this individual, and they went to the show together, and she did choose to sit in his lap. But could it have been different if the whole Keke Palmer situation didn't happen? Maybe.
Possibly. But even what you said, Trap, which you was just like, who is he? This woman her destiny was fulfilled before we even knew who this nigga was, right? Yeah. All that. Why is that not? If I had flipped that and said that about a famous man and a non-famous woman, you would have swore I belittled this woman, I showed her no respect.
My thing, I think, is different when someone's still figuring themselves out. I don't know what Darius does. I don't know who he is. I just know that it doesn't seem like he got that figured out. And the reason we've come to know him is I feel the same way at times with women with powerful men, right? We are living in a climate where tons of women attach themselves to powerful men because they want to get on. It's like, we don't know who the fuck you are. Mm-hmm. Again, I would still give reverence to someone and give them honor, especially a man, if he had an identity and a public image before me. Again, everybody's different. And I think, too, that's why, like, I made a post recently. I said, I understand why Beyonce said, sometimes $1 billion goes down on the elevator, because the way that they handled that situation, they both had something to lose. So, in regards to Kiki and Darius, it's like Kiki has a lot more to lose because she has worked harder to get to this position. So when you are in a relationship with someone who's had to work hard to establish something, you need to treat their shit like it's also something that you've got to lose.
But
Because
why doesn't this opinion apply to the millions of famous men who we know nothing about their women? We know nothing about them. Why doesn't that same validity apply? I've never heard a woman say that about if that man disrespects his non-famous, nobody knows who the fuck she is, wife.
And still disrespectful.
That's still disrespectful because she is somebody. She's his wife, or his girl. That man is somebody. That's Keke Palmer's choice of man. It don't matter what he does for a living.
Right. That shouldn't determine how important he is.
She gave him the power.
Like, yeah, it's just weird that, like, because she has so much, it's like his say as a man in the relationship is lessened now.
Right.
Like,
she was already.
Yeah, no. The power should remain the same no matter who got what. Whether I'm wealthy and you poor, whether you poor and I'm wealthy. You feel me?
I'm not saying it's less important. What I'm saying is when she is important like she is, he shouldn't have gone to fucking Twitter with that shit.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree. It should have been handled in house.
Yeah, absolutely. and I think it should be regardless of their reputation, it still should be handled in house. I feel like everything should be handled in house. If you really locked in with somebody like that, nothing should be handled publicly.
Right.
You feel me? So
right. Just for the record though, I'm not in a relationship, but if I ever do to my future wife, don't do that because I'm a cheat. If I go on the internet and you dancing on Usher or any nigga who can sing or whatever, I'm cheating on you. And then we'll just see if that's cool. That's my version of it. I look at it as the same thing.
Why is that?
It's my version.
So that's cheating? Like what she did is cheating?
It's disrespectful, and I know what's disrespectful to you. And we even. And Beyonce ain't gonna do that to me. So I can't go get you back in that aspect. But the girl up the street, she'll do something to me. And I know you hate her too. I see how you look at her every day. We even. And then
so we just petty.
I'm socially, what am I? Socially unaware. Is that not, it don't apply?
That's not...
You say that word right now.
I'm just trying to see where I can and can't use it.
That is not the situation where you use that word.
Hey, I have an opinion that you won't like either, Trap Witch. I believe that no woman is single by choice.
That is absolutely false. Before I was in my relationship, I was single by choice. But that's because I knew that there was some shit that I needed to figure out with me, and I couldn't do that with somebody else.
I agree. Well, girl, listen, I looked up. You gave me the death eyes. I am so sorry. Trap Witch, I agree. You second that motion?
I mean, here's my thing. I feel like there are certain people who spend more seasons in singledom because, again, when you are somebody who has a lot of responsibility, when you have a lot to lose, I mean, the pickings aren't as, I think, plentiful. It doesn't mean that you don't get attention. It doesn't mean that you don't have choices. But are choices worth settling into? No. So I feel like there are people who choose to be single. I feel like there's people who choose to settle because they jump into the first thing that comes at them, or they try to fit themselves into something that's just whatever meets their path first. So, I mean, again, there's times where people are interested in people and maybe that person's not interested back in them. That's okay. But I do think there's plenty of people who are single by choice. You don't have to be in a relationship just because someone gives you attention and wants to settle down.
Were you referring to yourself when you said that if you're of a certain caliber, the pickings are slim? Like, I don't know your financial status, so that's why I was asking. I didn't know.
Yeah, and not even that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I have a lot of personal responsibility to my community. I also have a certain type of relationship that I want, and it doesn't compromise who I am. So I'm willing to wait longer for that than to just settle into anything that's coming at me.
I'm drifting, but just what's your idea of relationship? What kind of relationship are you waiting for? Give me the details.
So first of all, one that does not compromise my spirituality, one that doesn't compromise my forward facing image, doesn't compromise my destiny. I would prefer a business relationship. I need to be with a motherfucker who likes to make money, who likes to build. Naturally too, I found in my last relationship that I'm a hunter. When I say I'm a hunter, meaning I like to hunt, I like to go collect resources, I like to do things. So when I'm with a man who doesn't maximize my tools, my skills, I get bored. And so I need to be building. I need my talents to be used. So it's kind of hard because for me, I ended up in my last situation with someone who just couldn't receive my skill set, and then just also didn't like to hunt the way that I like to hunt. So it was hard for me to stay in that. And for me, I think that that person, their ceiling would have been a coffin for me, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
their ceiling would be a coffin for me. So I'm just aiming higher. I have certain standards. I have certain things that I'm going for, and that's why we outgrew each other. That
But
was a season
if
at
you're
that
a
time.
hunter, why do you need someone to go hunting with you? If you're the hunter and the gatherer and you bring it back, why do you need someone to go get it with you? Why can't
Why
you just go hunt?
we have more? I mean, isn't two heads better than one?
But that's not. Then we're doing the same job. But then what if we both out here hunting? Then what?
People differently. There would be a motherfucker who likes how to fish, and there's someone who likes to go shooting. So, again, it's understanding people's skill set and their talents and maximizing them together to create more.
Right. So whatever your level of success is, you want him to match it or be above.
Period.
All right. Yeah.
I haven't. Oh no.
No. But do you see what I say about the core? So no matter how successful she get, you better go have something, have more.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
your core.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try to twist it any nice way you want to, which that's why I asked you all those questions. I'm also curious to know if you do meet this amazing hunter and this amazing energy matcher and doesn't ask you to compromise any of your spirituality and anything about you, you have to make zero changes to yourself. What do you offer him in return?
What do I offer him in return?
Because that was a
That's it.
lengthy list, and I would just wonder what you would offer this great gentleman in return.
Well, emotional connection, mental connection, spiritual connection. I'm about my business too. I ain't no bum bitch. So what I'm saying? I bring a lot to the table. And again, when people ask what you bring to the table, the way I look at it, I so I'm asking you to bring your table to my table. So let's have a long ass motherfucking table. And we can have a potluck. So again, I prefer, I think a lot of times too, we're living in a society again when we go back to women who are. I live in Atlanta, and one thing I've learned about Atlanta is Atlanta has become a city where we used to be able to go, let's say, in the strip club, and we only saw certain body types, certain type of women in the strip club. Now every bitch running around here looking the same, and that fantasy has come outside the strip club. So women have made careers out of being socialites, running off the backs of powerful men, mooching, whatever. For me, I personally don't believe in women not having their own. Even if a man wants to come and facilitate for you and supplement, I think it's still dangerous not to have some business about yourself or not have some just anything. I think that women depend too much on men to be their everything, and it creates codependency and addiction. So for me, I bring emotional connection. I bring spiritual connection. I bring physical. There's plenty of things that I bring, and so all I ask is that somebody's equally yoked and do the same. You
Right.
know, again,
Okay. I encourage you as a friend to adjust some of those standards. Only reason why I say adjust them as much as you want because a lot of that ain't coming, and that sounds crazy, but I understand. I get it. Yeah, I
okay.
get it.
Oh,
I mean, listen. If you just want to take a trip through the hospital, a lot of people die alone. I know they don't advertise that story a lot, but a lot of motherfuckers die by themselves. It's just
are
not
you
a
gonna
popular.
Me, are you gonna give me the? You're gonna end up with a million cats?
No, hell no. I'm not gonna tell you how you're gonna end. I'm not God. I'm encouraging you as a friend to adjust as much or a little as you will. Only reason
Never.
why I say that is because the man that you are asking for will not need you to require any of those things. If he's such a great hunter, if he's such a great provider and such a great energy, he will not require any of those things for you from you. So it's great that you provide them, but those things will actually get in the way and take away from the things that man will actually need. I will let him tell you that on his own, but just take that in. You're not going to take it in now, but at some point in time, if you meet a man that is that great, provides that level of energy, he's a great hunter, provider, and maximizes your skills and all that good shit, all that shit you talking about you got and your skill set and what you are, he won't need. That doesn't complete him at all. He does all the things you just said you do. So
We're not talking about anybody completing anyone. Nobody should complete anyone. Relationships are supplemental. Again, we talk about codependency, and a lot of people are coming from scarcity. Again, relationships should be overflow. So we all come with our own abundance, and then we have overflow. So again, a lot of people are not creating overflow in their relationships because they're coming from cups that are not full from within themselves first. So again, he might not need all that from me, but he
right.
will appreciate the overflow, just as I
Oh,
would appreciate.
sure, it is great to have those things. And when I say complete, I don't mean complete you as an individual. I mean complete you as a unit. You understand? If we are all doing the same things, our unit, we might be great individuals, but if we're doing the same fucking thing, we're not completing the unit. Does that make sense?
But again,
You'll find them in your.
I would say to each his own.
Yeah, sure. I love those kind of statements too. They're very general and they work well.
I can. Of course, I'm speaking for myself in my relationship. We both live like I am my complete Sunday, and he is in complete Sunday, bananas, 3 scoops of ice cream. I got sprinkles and a cherry on top, and he's just the extra cherries and the extra sprinkles, and vice versa. I don't want to say that I've gotten lucky. I just was patient enough to get to the space where I am, to be in a relationship. And what she's saying is that it's just extra. He didn't need those things from me, but as she said, he appreciates that these are the things that I bring to the table.
Sure, and I guarantee you, I don't know the details of your relationship. I'm not even going to pretend that I do. I just said if you offer those things, any good man would appreciate the extras you bring to the table. But I guarantee you, if I could watch your relationship for 2 or 3 days, I could point out to where you bring something to his life that he didn't have before he met you. Guarantee you I could point something out. I guarantee you if I sat here and talked to him, if you wasn't present, and I say, what does your lady bring to your life that you didn't have before you met her, I guarantee you he got a list.
Back then, yes. Today, those things are there. So
That means you completed the unit.
And I wouldn't say that he didn't need. I would just say not aware of, because he didn't know that he was missing it.
That's, in my opinion, that is a version of need. Okay. There are a lot of things in life that, I mean, you can't miss what you never had, right? So I do agree with that. But I've had a woman show me things that opened my eyes, and I'm like, that was a missing piece to my life. I didn't know it at the time. I lived 30-some years prior to knowing it, till this woman showed me, and I'm like, damn, I should have had that in my life so much earlier. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a woman can absolutely complete you. It's not a negative or that I wasn't whole. She just showed me things in myself that I needed to know about myself. Sometimes a woman can be the best mirror for you.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's
she
all.
gave you some extra sprinkles.
Absolutely. I don't even call it. She gave me some extra ingredients. I was missing some whole sauce in my shit.
I swear, because like, what's the point of keeping something that you don't need?
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I don't need my husband. Do I want him? Absolutely. And he knows this.
Ma'am?
But I do not need him. But do I want him around? Absolutely. Do I appreciate his presence? Absolutely. But I don't like the dependency that people attach to need. So I don't need you to move through life. I don't need you to pay the mortgage. I don't need you to go cut the grass. I don't need you to do these things. Do I want you around? Do I like coming home and that you're here and that you're present? Yes. When you're away and you're traveling and you're not here, do I miss you? Yes. But I can still function in our relationship and in this household without you here. So I don't need you. But do I want you? Do I desire you, at least at this point in time in our relationship and in my life and his? Yes.
What's the point of committing to somebody for the rest of your life, if that's the case?
What do you mean? Because I want to commit to you. I don't need to. We could have kept moving as we were moving beforehand and be just fine. We just chose that, hey, you know what? We want to have a commitment ceremony. I'm not legally married, but I am married in our definition of marriage. We had a ceremony. We had a commitment. I want to do this journey with you for as long as it benefits us both, for whatever that may be. I want to continue this journey. Now, if it becomes a point where we're no longer serving each other anymore, then that's okay. Does it mean that we failed? No, but it's okay if we have to step away. Hopefully that never becomes the case. But I wanted to walk through life from this point forward in, I don't want to say a higher level of commitment because we were already committed beforehand, but in a commitment that we made between each other before who we believe God to be, however you may define that, and then move forward. But he would say the same thing. He doesn't need me, and I don't want you to need me. I want you to want me to be around.
See, I feel that, there's a lot of people who end up in relationships, but they don't love themselves, right? So I think, to add to what she's saying, a lot of people end up in relationships excessively feeling like they need someone because they love being with that person, but they don't even love being with themselves. So, like we said earlier, I'm willing to be single a lot longer because I love being with myself. So when we are in relationship and you're committing to someone, I love being with you and I love sharing the experience of me with you and you with me. But when it gets to the point when people are with each other and motherfuckers don't love themselves, you are not maximizing the shared experience. So, that's where I say is like, there's a difference between somebody supplementing to you and adding to you versus you looking at that motherfucker to complete you.
With all due respect to the both of you, especially your situation, because you do have a relationship and I don't. So right now, the way you present yourself, the way you're talking, you have a much better relationship in your life right now than I currently have. So I do say this with all due respect. What both of you said is insulting to love. Extremely. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes, and I just swear, like, the world we live in, bro, it to me, it becomes more and more parasitic by the day. Like, the infections of these narratives and stuff that we throw out. The negative connotation that comes with need is what you hate so much. Like, you literally said it. Like, I hate the term that comes with need. I don't need you to do this. I don't need you to do that. Sometimes relationships and nowadays do work out better when you have a business-like relationship, because most people don't understand love to begin with, right? So sometimes when you have an understanding, that could last longer than actual love. People use the term love incorrectly. They jump in relationships and claim they love each other, and that shit ain't nowhere close to love. You get what I'm saying? So the term is used incorrectly, but so is need. There is a way that your life should function with your husband or your wife that you need. Sure, can you survive? Humans are relentless. I can survive with damn near nothing. You feel me? There's a woman in my life who's not with me right now, but if I could, the vision that I have with her and what it felt like, I need that. Do I have that and am I living just fine? Absolutely. When I marry my wife and she walks down that aisle, I want to need the person that is walking down that aisle to me. I want to feel like that there is no life. Sure, I know consciously that there is a life outside of her, right? I lived a long life before I met her, but I want to feel that if life will not exist in this manner without this person. And that is what love is. It is nothing else other than that. If the negative term, that means society has gotten to you enough to where you almost have to look at your husband and say, I'll be okay without you. You have already processed that in the middle of a good relationship. I'll be okay without him. I can pay this mortgage without him. I can raise these kids. Why though? That shouldn't even, the thought of doing it without that person should make you sick to your stomach. And that is where need comes from. Can I survive? Am I strong enough black woman to do this without you? Absolutely. But this would
But
be
that,
miserable
I,
without you.
I think I would encourage you still to look subjectively versus objectively. I'll give you an example. My sister-in-law very much loved my brother. She needed him. She loved him, right? But life would have it that he'd have a heart attack and die. So she has to learn to live without him. And so in some
Facts.
scenarios when we are literally saying so subjectively, I need, we will be too emotional. So what I'm saying is, and what I think she's saying too, is like, we can need someone, we love someone, we want them in our life, but life was gonna fucking life sometimes. And so sometimes when people break up, people die, life happens. People are distraught because they don't know how to function without the other person. And again, it goes back to codependency. So I'm not saying that no, I don't need someone. Yeah, I would love for my relationship to be something that supplements to me and gives me so many things. But one thing I have learned is sometimes, yes, and it's not about having one foot in, one foot out, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Life is gonna life. So you're gonna have to learn. I coach women every day. I have women DMing me every day. Oh my God, I don't know how to move on. I'm rejected. And they don't know how to function because again, people are too much in those subjective feelings. So I guess what I'm saying is that it's great to be in that place, but you're gonna have to be realistic that life is gonna life sometimes. And there's tons of women I know especially that don't know how to function when
Right.
life.
True. But a lot of those people, like I said, and a lot of those DMs that you get are from people who misapply the term. Who apply the term love and need to a person they should have never thought they loved or needed. You see what I'm
Most times,
saying? Exactly. So I'm talking about in the scenario of I give you the benefit that you are actually in a great relationship. You feel me? I think that when I get married, I think I have the wherewithal to pick a great woman. And I want to need her. I think I don't know your brother, but it sounds like the relationship you say he had with your sister-in-law was a great one.
yeah, they were
So,
very much in love.
right. So if death is the only thing that pulled me apart from you, it's okay to need you. It's okay to go to that gravesite and still feel like I need you. Sure, life is gonna life, and sure you're gonna move on. But that need will, if my wife died, that need will always keep her alive. You get what I'm saying?
I think want and desire can do the same thing though. Like it doesn't.
To an extent, because my want and desires can change.
This is true. Your need can change too.
Sure, absolutely. I can't argue that point at all. But I would like to think that my need for my wife will not. That's my hope.
Yeah, it's a great hope, especially when it comes to marriage. If there's anything my mother has always said to me and my sister too, because my sister was married before me, is that love is not enough in a marriage. It is not enough.
Sure.
And I think that's another reason why I operate from want and desire instead of need, is because I know my need for you in the way that you're explaining it to me as equating it to a level of love.
Facts.
That's not enough to sustain this.
Do you think love is enough in a relationship?
I don't think love is enough, but I think love is super important, and I think that nobody wants to be vulnerable anymore, and love is vulnerable. So if you're not vulnerable, you can't be in love. You feel me? Everybody's like it's almost like everybody has an insurance policy on their relationship as they go into it, and it's just like if you're functioning in that fashion, it's almost like you're always looking for something to not work out, and you can't really be free in it like you want to be free in it. And I think the way I would want to feel for my person, you feel what I'm saying, is a situation to where need me. You feel me? Need me until you don't have to, until you have to do without me. You feel what I'm saying? But in that, I would want that because I feel like men sacrifice so much in relationships. We're giving everything. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like to hear somebody that you're giving everything to say that they don't need you is it's a weird feeling.
If I heard my wife say, and I'm not, your husband seems to operate differently. I'm just saying, if I heard my wife say she didn't need me,
she wouldn't have me.
We got shit to talk about.
So why is the level of her saying, I don't need you, but I want you and I desire you?
Because
why is that different?
Other people want me and desire me too. So then what are we doing here?
But
you might not be my first choice if I just wanted you.
But she does. Why is she wanting you and desiring you?
Because then what separates you?
A downgrade versus need for you.
Because what separates you from any of these other ones? There's a lot of women that want me or desire me. I mean, I'm talking about me personally.
I mean, but you tell me, if she is your person, what separates her from everybody else?
the fact that I thought she needed me. Like I thought I was needed here. I thought that my work and my efforts were fucking needed, and I make life great for you and these kids, and you guys wouldn't know what the fuck to do without me. But now that I know you'll be just fine, that I'm not here, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing too. So,
I mean, just because you, like, let's say my relationship didn't work out and we went our separate ways, even though I don't need him and don't operate from that place, doesn't mean that I won't miss your presence. If we weren't there, we have built a life together. We have built memories together. Those things don't dissolve just because we're not together. I'm still going to miss the fact that going forward, our memories will look different, or we may not have any new memories at all. That the way that we existed no longer is there, and the loss of that still can hurt. I don't know if it will. Who knows what the future looks like, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt.
You know what's dope about this show? If you and your man ever do fight, break up, you gonna say, "Baby, I need you. Don't go."
No,
She don't know what to say. She'll be like, "Fuck all that shit I was talking about."
I'm gonna tell you right now. So, recently we had a conversation. Kids has been a topic of conversation in my relationship. We have made it a point not to operate from societal standards of saying this is what this is supposed to look like. This is why I'm not legally married. This is.
Oh, you're not legally married?
I am not legally married.
Girl, that's a nice ring to say you ain't legally married. So that's a promise ring?
No, this is my engagement
that motherfucker
ring.
Nice.
I am not legally married, but it's because we took a step back. Like, why do we have to do this? Would we be doing this because society says this is what we're supposed to be doing? Or is this what we really wanted to do? So that's why we just decided, like, no.
So why even do any version of marriage then? And just why not just, you feel me? Why even go halfway through with the ritual that you don't really follow? You feel what I'm saying?
Because we wanted to show for ourselves. Granted, we had people attend that have supported us along the way to enjoy in this experience, but we wanted to make a further commitment, I will say, to each other to say, this is what I want to do going forward. This is what you've meant to me thus far in our in the past of our relationship to this point. And then this is what I hope we can be going forward. But we did that for us, for nobody else. And a lot of people had a lot of goddamn opinions about it.
Well, but if that's the case, though, he didn't have to give you that big ass ring there. If we ain't going with societal norms, you don't need no ring.
I did not ask for this.
You wearing that motherfucker?
Yeah, I mean, that bitch got a note on it. That's a ring to come like a note. A statement coming in the mail for that one, though. That'd be fine.
I did not ask. This is what he wanted to do. Would I have still married him in the ceremony that we did if he did not give me this ring? Absolutely.
Sure, but that's a need ring. If I found out you just want me, I could have went down like 3-4 sizes.
Right.
Like I could have missed like 3 more carats off of that if you just wanted me. It makes sense,
right? Fact.
Yeah.
But with that, and breaking things down from a societal standpoint, recently kids has been a thing for us, and I'm becoming to the point where, as of right now, we both don't want kids. His is questionable in the future. I'm becoming in a space more of, I don't know if I really want to be a parent. I don't have this burning desire to do so. So it was a point of contention in our relationship recently. And it came to a point where, our relationship may not continue. And was I sad? Yeah, because it's like, I had this idea. I love the life that we've built thus far. I had this vision of what our life could look like. And we moved past it and we had a conversation. He was like, I never want you to think that I don't want you because of this. Like, I'm willing we'll figure it out. This, to not have kids isn't as important as not having you in my life and wanting you in my life.
But y'all just can't say the N-word.
I was going to say, it sounds like you need you here.
They all around need and just won't say it.
But
I really want you.
Whatever word you want to use to help it, but those were the words that he used in our conversation.
Do you see her rolling her eyes?
But it's what we use, but we're both in the same space that we don't want to need each other. And we've had moments where this could dissolve and we realize, like, nah, I want you around. Like, I enjoy the life that we have. And this isn't worth losing the life that we have.
You seem pretty young, though. Have a kid. At least do it once. It'd be the best thing y'all ever did.
I've learned, and TikTok has really helped with this, is that And I could be very wrong because I am not a parent, but I feel like a lot of people became parents not by choice, and they were just thrust into the situation, and now they're just moving about it.
Sure.
And now that I am older and I understand that I do have a choice, then I appreciate understanding that I do.
Right.
And who knows, in 5 years I could feel different and be like, nah, I want to be a mom and let's do this today. But right now, knowing the level of dedication that it takes to be a parent and the amount of time and effort that goes into raising a kid, it's just not something that I want to give up right now.
It's the most effortless thing. It takes a lot of energy and effort, I won't lie to you. But it's the most effortless effort that you will ever put into anything. A lot of people are thrust into parenthood, and the negativity that comes with that is just from lack of preparation. It is not the child itself. It's the fact that you did something you were completely unprepared for, financially, mentally, whatever that was. So they blame it on the children. Oh, children rough. No, nigga, your decisions were rough. Right? You could barely pay your bills, and you had 2 kids. What sense does that make? Don't blame the kids, it's you. Right? Having the kid is the most liberating thing you will ever do. It feels amazing. It's hard for me to explain. I do agree that now that you're old enough to prepare, that is the most smart thing. To be financially secure is the second most smart thing you could do. That sounds terrible. Most smart thing, excuse me. But you get what I'm saying. But after that, it's nothing. As long as you don't have more than you can mentally handle or that you can financially afford, it's the best thing you'll fucking ever do.
But this explains like why we live in a world like full of idiots, right? It's because all of the people who should be parents are overthinking it, and the idiots is just
out here popping them out.
They just popping them out. You feel me? So we got a dumb baby being born every 0.5 seconds, and a smart baby coming every 30 minutes. You feel me?
That's why they just out here twerking and fucking.
My God, bro. My God. Hey, it makes sense now.
It do though. Hey, Travis, how do you apologize in a relationship? You don't look like the apology type. How you tell your man you sorry?
This is something I really learned in my last relationship. I learned that sometimes even if, let's say, my personal feelings, my subjective feelings don't necessarily agree with him.
Right. So you got to tell him you're sorry even though you're not sorry.
I'm still willing to put my pride aside. That's one thing I really learned how to do was apologize, because sometimes you got to be like a thermostat. I remember one time someone taught me about the thermostat versus the thermometer. Sometimes you out here responding to your environment instead of regulating your environment. So sometimes that's the compromise where you want both of us to win. So it just depends on the situation. I'm willing to apologize and add some coolness to the heat if it's not worth sitting on. But if it's something of a magnitude that is very important, that needs conflict resolution, that we have to come to a firm understanding of, then I'm not going to apologize until we both come to a firm understanding of the actual changes or the things that we have to comprehend in order to move forward. But I'll apologize.
That is a long ass way to say I don't know how to say I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's a long ass way to say I'm not gonna say I'm sorry. Right. Like, listen. So basically, you said until you understand where I'm coming from, I ain't gonna say shit. Basically, like you got to understand where I was coming from.
I can still say sorry, but again, I think sometimes people spiritually bypass the problem, and that's why they come back full circle every couple months to the same fucking issue. So again, if you really want your relationship to evolve, you can't just brush it under the rug with sorries. People say I'm sorry all the time, like they say I fucking love you, and they don't mean it. So to me, it's more important that we both come to an understanding and really comprehend shit and apply the soul lesson than me just fucking saying sorry, you just saying sorry. Because again, people say sorry all the time and don't fucking mean that shit.
But what if I just want you to say, sometimes a person just wants you to be sorry. I want you to be sorry for hurting my feelings. Can you tell me, can you just say I'm sorry for hurting your feelings without anything extra?
Yeah.
Babe, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. That's what you say?
Yeah, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings.
No.
Well, I'm still gonna be mad. That don't sound. You said no. That didn't sound sincere at all. Like, that was the most sarcastic.
Get your pussy ass.
Yeah, that's what. You don't apologize either.
Toughen up.
No, I do. I do apologize, but I'm apologizing for how I made you feel if it was negative, but I'm not apologizing for the stance that I have or how I feel.
I can fault.
But I will always apologize. Like if the way that I said it came out wrong and it made you feel the type of way, I absolutely apologize because that's not my intention. But what I'm saying and what I'm trying to express, I do mean that. And I can't apologize for that part, but I can definitely apologize if it gave you a negative feeling or made you feel a type of way. I can definitely apologize for that because that wasn't my intent.
Got you. I got 2 quick questions for y'all and we'll close out. One, the last one's gonna be an anonymous anxiety, but I'm gonna use my own personal life for that one. Who do y'all think the nicest? I don't know if any one of y'all dated outside your race before.
No.
Never.
I've tried.
What have you dated?
I guess South American, Middle Eastern. I don't know. I've tried many different things. Yeah.
And they all keep trying to change you a little bit, huh? I'm just
Which
fucking with
just not compatible.
nobody gonna be compatible with them rules. But who do you feel like is the nicest race of men, the softest, the most compassionate race of men? In general, it just as a whole. I know y'all gonna say you can't.
I don't experience men outside of my race, but it's a me thing.
Are you anti interracial, or you just like?
I am not, but you guys don't know me, but I'm a very social, political person, and I just can't see people outside of my race without a certain type of lens.
So can I be pro-black with a white wife?
Absolutely, you can.
She's an ally.
However, if she doesn't display your pro-blackness,
Right. But I don't want her to be. Can I not want her to be black? Like, let's say I end up with a white woman, which is about 40% chance at the moment. I don't want a black white woman. Does that make sense? If I start seeing my white girl do black shit, I'm out. Like, if you don't tie your shoelaces all the way to the top, I'm be addressing that.
I'm gonna say if she's not an accomplice to this goal that we're having of making sure that we are on an equitable playing field with everybody else, then I'm gonna look at you sideways.
No, she's gonna protest with us. I just don't want her to act black.
That's what I'm saying is that she needs to be an accomplice, like not just an ally. Like if we going down and we finna get these RICO charges, we all going down together.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm with that too. I just don't want her I hate imitation people. Like, if I date a white woman, I'm still not going to act white. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to come around me and see the effects of my white woman on me. Like, brother, this is a little white you got going on there.
Since you brought it up, I'm going to just say this. There's nothing wrong with preference whatsoever. If that's who you like, then so be it. I just don't like when people have to downplay other people or disrespect other people to make their preferences known. So if you like white women, it's perfectly fine. But in the process, you don't have to tear down or disrespect anybody else in the process because that's your preference.
But is comparing tearing down? In the form of conversation, because I do this a lot in conversation.
If it comes from a negative place, to me, yes.
But it's always gonna sound negative when the comparison is not in your favor. If I say I've had like black women look better like this, white women look better like this. I've had white women do this better, black women do this better, and black women do not want to hear anything they don't do the best.
I think it depends on who you're talking to. But
do you feel the same?
Yeah, I don't like to umbrella people.
All right.
But I know there's people that do that. Right. But it's also the delivery that other podcasts that I've seen that have had this conversation, it's the way that it's delivered that is the issue. It's probably not even the context of what you're saying, it's the delivery of it.
I can agree with that. I asked the question because I believe that black men are the nicest men in the world and we get the worst rap. So I don't understand where black women are going. Black women try to have this conversation that black men need to protect them more and black men need to be more this and more that. I'd be like, where y'all going? Like, we the nicest men in the world. Like, nobody's going to put up with as much stuff as y'all come with. Not saying that in the negative. It's just whatever it is. Like, we're the nicest. Like, I look at other cultures of men and they're all that controlling aspect that y'all hate. Like, they race is still kicking just like that. They race is still man empowerment, woman kind of behind. Like, where y'all going?
I don't have nothing to compare to.
Oh, I know. So. Yeah, you with the car. I'm just, but I just be confused. So I just wanted to see if y'all agreed that if black men are the nice. Do you feel like black men need to protect black women more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, then why are you so objective to the word control? I cannot protect anything I cannot control.
That's not necessarily true.
It's very true. If I'm a Secret Service member and you hire me to protect you, correct? Mm-hmm. And I tell you to wait right here while I go clear it out first, and you bring your ass on out anyway, how can I protect you?
Because you're always supposed to be situationally aware. That's not a good example.
That's a great example.
No, it's not only because
he's hired to protect you. How is it not?
I cannot protect anything. If I say, baby, don't wear that outfit out.
Background to the example that you're using, so it's not a good example to use.
But if I say, baby, don't wear this out because men treat you a certain way when you go out like this, and you wear that fuck shit out anyway. I told you don't go out there, so how can I protect you if you want to wear that shit more than you want to listen to me?
Okay, so at least for me, when I say protect black women, it is when you're outside and you are Joe Schmo and you see a girl being disrespected or someone coming at her sideways and you walk past and say nothing or do nothing. Your relationship, that how you choose to protect your person, that's one thing. But for me, it's out in public or you see somebody on the internet calling her every which way up and down and you co-sign that individual versus saying, you could have this conversation with her in a more respectable way. That's the place that I'm coming from when I say protect black women.
And I agree with that. And it's all the same to me because there's post and there's pre-protection, right? Mm-hmm. Like I brief my client before we go out here into the thing, and then there we situations arise, and then there's post protection, correct? Mm-hmm. So yes, I should step up when you go out and some dude inappropriately does something to you. Black men should step up and protect black women, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also pre-protection. Mm-hmm. When I'm advising you so you won't bump into that motherfucker, you have to listen to that as well. You can't say you don't need me here, and then when you getting roughed up, be like, hey, help me now.
Right.
Because if you don't need me, I'm going to feel like you going through that. You got it, tough ass black woman. Mm-hmm. You don't need me. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I say how can I protect things that I cannot control, if you want me to feel needed, you have to make me feel needed at all times. If I can quote unquote, I know the negative term that comes with control, but you just get what I'm saying. Not that abusive control. And I'm talking about husband love, boyfriend level of control, honey. Watch what you win. That kind of simple shit that y'all hate, but you get what I'm saying, right? Don't try to conflate it with that abusive control. But if you don't respect me here and I don't feel needed, it's hard for me to have the immediate need response when you're going through something else.
Should you reframe it to you can't be with someone that you can't guide or doesn't respect your leadership? But again, right? Like guidance and leadership, I feel like in relationships are shared because there's times where women are very intuitive and I think that we should protect each other. But again, I think that there's times where black women feel upset that they've gone above and beyond to protect black men, and then black men come and turn around and spit in their face.
But y'all protect y'all sons. Y'all ain't protecting random. We don't need what y'all need, first of all. So stop saying you have to. Y'all don't protect us. I mean, we don't. We've been talked about as broke, not doing shit. You seem very aware of historical things, so you're aware of assistance and don't need the black man in the house. What's that now?
I also think it's the communities that you're exposed to because it sounds like...
I'm talking about my black community. Again, I don't always talk about myself. I talk about the collective as a community. Like I said, we understand that the men have been removed out of the black household. That's historical facts, right? You guys understand how that happened. I don't want to go down that whole...
It is historical that did occur. However, as a devil's advocate to that, black men also had a choice and chose different.
How do we have a choice if you kicking us out the house? The assistance was given to you. If you say don't get in here, if I stay here, that's called abuse. They call the police, the law.
I guess I'm going a little bit further back in history before that became a thing.
So we left on our own?
You put yourself in situations to where that could become a thing. As in the context, okay, so Reagan in the war on drugs, cocaine, crack, black men chose to go in that direction. Not all, but there are many black men that chose to go in that direction and do that, then which caused them to go to prison and not be in the household, which then caused Black women to be on more social services as time went on. So yes, it is a cause of an effect thing.
But that's because when black men tried to start businesses and start having legitimate jobs, that was all taken from us.
This is true, but it doesn't mean you stop trying.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you stop trying and do something that you know that eventually you're gonna get caught up. Name somebody in history that's been slanging that.
I'm not arguing. I'm not going to sit here and vouch for drug dealing, but you understand the historical attack against black men, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So there has been a historical attack against black men, which also includes black women. So some of the drug choices that we've made, the career choices that we've made, is because of how a white government society pushed us in those directions. These really the only choices that we had to have any semblance of a decent living, correct? And then once they got us in that aspect, they also took you away from us too and attacked us from that angle. So there was nothing that we had. There was no protection from us from the government. The white person society was not built for a black man, and then they took our women. There's nothing for, and I'm not justifying any bad decisions that we make to this day, because as men, we have to stand on that and live with our decisions, what we make on our own. But I'm just trying to say there is no over protection on one end than it is on the other. There is no, black men do not feel needed most of the time. Black men do not feel valued most of the time. So this is something that I'm telling you. Like, this is like, you can go talk to a lot of black men. We do not feel respected. I know black men who are married who feel like their wives talk to them highly disrespectful. When you turn on the TV and look at any black, like not any, but when you look at black couples and relationship on TV, if you could take the tone out of it, you would think two men were talking to each other when they argue. Like, there's very little respect that we feel.
Things they put in our face. So again, like,
I've lived it, so it's not just on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear what you're saying. And again, I know that the media pumps those images in our face, so we stay conditioned to think that's the normal. But again, like Bones been talking about a lot of times on his IGs recently, like, we got to come to solutions and stop making fucking excuses. There are people, there are black couples in healthy relationships where the husband and wife are protecting each other. They're riding for each other. You know what I'm saying? So me personally too, I'm just tired of people against each other. You don't protect. Let's just fucking protect each other, because personally, I don't think the future's fucking female nor male. I think the future is family. We got to get back to understanding and respecting each other as a family unit, whether that's black people, white, whatever. Everybody just needs to get back to a point of respecting each other and hearing each other and holding space for each other, and let's get to fucking solutions and stop focusing on the problems.
True, but as unfair as this might sound, the only way back to prominence for black people is through y'all. You guys are the most powerful creatures on the planet, and there's no debate about you. If a black man is struggling, nobody makes him feel more okay about it than his woman. A black man could be doing halfway decent, and his woman make him feel like he ain't doing shit. You see what I'm saying? You can make $100,000, and your woman can make you feel broke.
The opposite. He could be struggling and she could be empowering him. Again,
that's what I'm saying. So we're saying, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I say. The key to us getting back, because black men are weakened, right? We're black men are also not living in their purpose. I'm not saying that we better off than you guys, but the only chance that we have to beat society is the power, the completion that our women offer us. You make us feel like we can conquer anything. It's the feeling.
Respectfully, I'll just tell you this: in the space of women's empowerment, women are fucking tired, because a lot of women are recognizing. I've had these debates with fucking hoteps, the spiritual black men. There's a lot of people hiding behind women's skirts, because I hear what you're saying, but there's also a collective of women that are fucking tired of empowering men, fucking trying to drag into the water, whatever have you. So it has to come from self-love, and black men have lost a lot of self-love. I understand what slavery has done. The systems have done. A lot of men are suffering from post-traumatic fucking slave syndrome and whatever have you. But again, it goes back to black men gotta love themselves fucking first, because nothing we say will land on them, no matter how much we empower them, unless they want to put the crown on their own goddamn head.
Yeah, but that's half true. I do support a lot what you just said, but you have to understand that most of the women who are tired and most of the women who are empowering the wrong man is because you chose the wrong person. Half the shit y'all love and y'all best years be the wrong shit anyway.
Yeah, and
half the men you trying to empower wasn't shit from the day you met him, and any decent man could have told you that, but you loved his no good ass from the beginning, right? So now you tired of giving your best self to somebody who wasn't worthy in the first place, while all the good dudes you had no interest in. So most black women are not putting good energy into good men, or the results would be as such, right?
I guess why can't I understand the
Right.
part of getting tired, but like at a grand scheme level, you have to put that energy into each person. If you're trying to get to where you're trying to get to,
Right.
it may be that person may not have been able to hear whatever it is that you were given at the time, but it doesn't mean that it can't. That you have to take that away, because eventually that person that didn't hear it then 10, 20 years from now, he's going to remember that and
That
double
dude
back.
who wasn't shit? Sure, but that's not my fault that you chose, because every woman has a myriad of DMs and people hitting them up every day. There was a man who was ready to hear that at that moment. You chose Buddy who wasn't. So maybe he does get it right 10 years later, but the man that you meet 10 years later should not have to deal with your lack of energy that you gave to the inappropriate person. I just met you. I'm ready to receive you. So the fact that you're tired, now I already have to pursue you. That's how you meet a woman typically, right? I already have to pursue you, and then you're gonna tell me you down on energy already? So now I have to attack the world. I have to attack the energy that you don't have. I have to pursue you and keep you happy. Do you see now what so what is for me? If you're down and you got nothing, you gave it to the wrong dude, I meet you 10 years later, what is for me?
But again, right? That's why I feel like I tell people, you got to walk away from situations not jaded. You got to stay consistent to who, like you say, you are at your core. Again, some appreciate it, but yes, women do need to take accountability for giving their energy to the wrong people, because there's a lot of women, again, because of the mothering nature, they overwater men who are unappreciative or don't value them. And yeah, so a lot of these women who are tired are taking their energy back, and like you said, waiting longer, being longer until they can find something that equals reciprocity.
I support that, absolutely. And when you meet said person, what I'm saying is to get things back on track. And it is unfair. I'm not putting all the energy on you. I'm just saying naturally there is an imbalance when you first meet a woman, because it's my job to pursue you. So there's a lot of me applying for the position, and you have to give it to me, right? But once I'm given the position of your man, the thing that gives me the feeling to accomplish whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish is just your support. It's just your ability to make me feel like everything's okay when everything's not okay. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Those simple things, like those encouragements, if I got a business idea, if you believe in me before anybody, I'll believe in myself. True, I should, as a man, believe in myself. And I do, but any doubt that creeps in, you can kill. If you believe in me and you tell me it's okay, I got it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Right. So it's just those simple facts, if ever we're able to get back on track. Quickly, I know it's getting late. I just got a quick question for you guys. You can answer me quickly. Y'all good? Everybody good? I know people got to go. Good? Good?
This is prime hour for me, so.
Okay, cool. This is my version of anonymous anxiety. And I just want you to tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I can take a straightening, right? So I'm going to keep my opinion out of this, all right? This is something I went through recently. My daughter was sick. I had to take my daughter to the ER, okay? She went there for a stomach virus. When we went in the back, you know how the doctor comes in? The doctor started asking my daughter some questions. Now, my person that I saw at one point in time in my past, she is a nurse practitioner, right? So I also confer with her whenever my daughter's going through something, because they got a relationship and I trust her opinion, right? So anyway, the doctor comes in, a female doctor, asks my daughter some questions, and then looks at me and said, well, can you step out for a second? Okay, cool. I stepped out. I ain't made no fuss about it. Walked out, asked my daughter some questions. What he asked my daughter or she asked my daughter, I have no idea, right? So basically, they just diagnosed her with a simple stomach bug, gave her some medicine, sent her home, the end. Spoke to that person, who my ex basically, right? And I said, everything went well, but there was something that made me a tad bit uncomfortable. I thought it was kind of inappropriate for them to ask me to step out the room and ask my 16-year-old daughter some questions, right? She says, and me and her, we don't really get along, so obviously you can tell, right? She says, it ain't inappropriate. And I was instantly offended. And I want to know, should I have, I understand why the hospital does it, right? I get the theory behind it. But I don't know who's parents in here and who's not parents in here. Was I wrong for feeling like that was inappropriate?
Now that you said her age, yes.
Until you got to tell me why.
I I take it back. You may not have been wrong in the way that you felt, but in the context of the situation, your feelings may have been misplaced. Okay. Especially because you know the reason why that happens, why they asked you to step out the room because of her age, to be able to ask her the questions that they need to ask her, getting a truthful answer. Because if she was in the room if it wasn't you, she was 16, and they were, had that person step out the room to be able to ask her those questions, and they were able to get a resolution out of this situation. Would you be upset if they didn't ask that person to step out and they didn't do their due diligence, and then now you feel a type of way? Right. So
now, that's why I said I understand why they asked me, but it felt inappropriate. But
I guess why do you feel like it was inappropriate?
I want to see what everyone says first, and then I'm gonna. What do you think?
I agree with her. I mean, as a parent and a guardian, I can understand your concern because you want to make sure. Because again, like I understand in the medical system, not everybody has good bedside manner. There's people, all the time not doing the right thing in the medical system. But at the same time, she's at that age at 16 years old, where there is a certain level of privacy, and maybe they, like she said, they could get more out of her if she's by herself, because there's a certain level of independence that she probably wants to have, and maybe privacy, and she might not get the care that she needs if you're in the room and she can't be transparent.
Okay, what about you?
I can understand why they would ask you to leave the room, but I feel like outside of that, I still should have. I should know I should be able to ask you what was asked, and I should be able to get those answers as well. I understand you. I understand the strategy of you having me leave the room so you can get the truth. But once you get the truth, I want to know the truth too.
Right.
Like, what did you ask my daughter, and can you explain to me what you asked her?
Right.
Now, if I'm asking that question and you telling me you can't tell me, now I feel some type of way.
Okay.
So yeah.
But you feel some type of way even though knowing the law that they cannot disclose that to you?
My daughter's 16. She's a minor.
In the medical system, she is not.
No, she's still a minor in the medical. Yeah. She can't make any medical decisions.
She can't make any medical decisions, but that doctor cannot tell you what he disclosed to her in that private conversation. Now, as far as care goes, like when you're in the room, of course, you're there. She's giving her consent. But anything that she discusses with her doctor, with you not present, he has to get explicit consent from her before he could share that with you.
So what if in that instant he decided, all right, I don't want to leave the room. Like I'm her parent, I'm her guardian. Whatever you ask her, you can ask her in front of me.
You can say that. Yeah. There's nothing that's saying that you can't.
Right. What frustrated me was because I was talking to a female, and I thought who better to understand the difference between understanding and feelings than a woman, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, I understand why they asked me to step out of the room. I logically get why. It's a standard practice. This probably has saved some young girls from a molester and all kind of stuff. I get the standard practice. But me being a good father who does none of those things feels that it is inappropriate. So although I understand that's why I didn't push back, it felt inappropriate. Who are you to ask my daughter questions that you don't even know if I've discussed with my daughter? How do you know I've talked about sex with my child? How do you know I've talked about possible rape or any of those possibilities with my kid? I may not have broached any of those subjects, and now because of your standard practice and a stomach bug, you get to do it before me? Does that make any sense? That's why, to me...
I agree with you.
Right. And so I'm just saying, I didn't say they did anything wrong, and this is what made me upset with her, because if I'm telling you what felt inappropriate for my kid, and you know the kind of parent I am, you just quick to jump on the side of the medical system because you work there? Even if I'm a police officer and a police officer does something to my friends and I understand the law, I can understand how something that is standard practice to police might feel a bit invasive to you, right? If I'm searching your stuff, if I'm doing something, right, it could be standard practice. But to you, a law-abiding citizen who felt like you were just going to work and ran a light might feel like this is a bit much, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I felt like it was inappropriate, and that's why I was upset with that person. Women love their feelings to be validated, and to make me feel like my feelings weren't validated when my child bothered me. Does that make sense? So that's all.
Absolutely.
Right. So I just wanted to see, and I love to bring these topics up with other people just to see how far off kilter I was in my real life, because my podcast persona and my personal persona, they vary slightly. I'm very understanding. I'm very willing to understand someone else's point of view, but I just wanted to know, was I off? That's all.
Yeah, your feelings are valid.
Slightly.
I just understand the situation, being a female, being in those positions. Even today at 32, it's the same thing when my husband comes with me. They're like, are you okay with him being in the room? Or have him step out, because it's standard practice now to ask you, are you safe at home, no matter who you are, and for the person that you come with to not be present. So I get what you're coming from, because you're not that type of parent, but then also understanding that, God forbid, 2 years from now, this could save her life. So
No doubt. Y'all good? Anything y'all want to ask me? Trap Witch, is that the Trap Witch? I'm just reading the title up there. Any do you hate me now, or are we cool? We left cool?
No, I love holding space for people with different opinions, even if they're not, in alignment with my own. That's coexistence in the world.
I like it. Hey, how much the massages went for back when you was doing them? I just want to see. I just want to see if I could get one. I need to know what, because somebody's still doing them, and I might consider. I'm single, and I got some tension places, but I might want a decent massage.
No, we out the game now.
But you still know the prices, though.
It's okay. You can get you a $200 therapy session with me, though.
No, unless it come with a hand job, I'm straight. Let me know Let me know how much extra them is, though. I want you to come back, because I hate the term sex work, and I know we can lead that. That could lead into like a hour conversation. So please come back and have that. Hey, but thank you for coming on. Like, I really appreciate it. I'm really honored to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say this wrong. Natasha.
Yeah, you said it right. You're on a roll.
Listen,
I love it.
Might be a black woman in my future yet, man. There's a chance, man. Thank you for coming on also.
Thank you for having me.
I encourage you to meet your husband and have children. I think you'll be a wonderful mom. I think you have a lot to offer. And I just, like he said, all of the people who are not thinkers and ignorant, they out here popping out kids. People like you who seem to have a good head on your shoulders and can communicate well. I think that would be dope to pour into the next generation of black people. So consider.
I definitely am doing that without kids. At least I like to. at least I would like to think that I am. I know people have short attention spans, so it doesn't always work out that way. But I think the person sitting across from me can vouch that I try to do my part.
Absolutely.
To those that are willing to listen.
I support. Hey man, no more pickup games, bro.
Listen, man, this is probably the least I've ever talked on the podcast, bro. I am on drugs, so y'all.
Yeah, I know.
You carried today. You had to. I ain't had nothing for you. You feel me?
It's all good, man. Just stay out them pickup games, man. Just coach, man. Coach the kids, man. Tell them what you was. Tommy Shepard, man. Just Tommy Shepard, man.
Boy, I was over with. I was looking up at the ceiling like, boy, it's a wrap.
Time
never again.
That's why we talk for a living, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a whole lot of that.
Facts. Hey man, listen, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope the live went well. We'll see how this goes. Thank y'all for tuning into the Anxiety Issues Podcast. Until next time. Thank you.